2022 has been a great year for anime. We've had some awesome shows in romance, isekai, comedy, as well as the good old action genre. But what really stood out to me is just how many breathtaking fights we've had this year. So, in today's video, I'm going to share with you guys my top 10 fights of 2022. Number 10. Miraco vs HighEnd Nomus. My Hero Academia treated us to an awesome fight early on in the season. In episode 2 of the 6th season, Miraco infiltrates a lab where Nomus are being produced by a villain named Doctor. But before she can put an end to his vile operation, Doctor releases his HighEnd Nomus to take her down. Now, these Nomus aren't as developed as the one who fought Endeavor, but they have some scary quirks and there's a whole bunch of them. Miraco is at a disadvantage and she even ends up losing her arm. But this is when she shows that no matter what, a hero never gives up. Her fight with these monsters might not have had the greatest animation, but it sure has a lot of heart that keeps the viewer hooked.
Defeating the great Yokai King won't prove to be so easy.
Number 9. Psychics vs the great Yokai King. The third season of Mob Psycho 100 started off kind of slow, since this time around the story is more focused on the development of our protagonist than anything else. Still, the show blessed us with its characteristic and one-of-a-kind animation during its second episode, where Reagan and his disciples follow the Yokai hunter to some shady tunnels. Inside, they come across the great Yokai King and his generals, who are looking to plunge the world into darkness. And while this sounds ominous, Serizawa and Mob don't even break a sweat as they exorcise these demons one by one. While this fight doesn't have many consequences, it sure had beautiful animation and one great score. Number 8. Prince Bojji vs King Boss. Ranking of Kings was arguably the biggest surprise of winter 2022. In a wild, emotional journey, we watch as our timid protagonist trains hard and against all odds perseveres in a world that doesn't want him. And in what can be considered the crescendo of the entire series, we see him square off against his father, King Boss, who's back from the dead to rule over his kingdom. On the surface, the battle looks completely unfair. After all, King Boss is a literal monster who is fighting a child. And yet we know Bojji enough to be certain that he won't go down without a fight. And what a fight it is. In a beautifully framed fight sequence, King Boss throws everything he has at Bojji, but the young prince uses his newly acquired strength to come out victorious. Studio Wit indeed did a great job animating this sequence, but it's actually the emotional backdrop that makes this fight one to remember.
Public servant. Just had to fucking rain.
Huh? What the hell you doing? Back it up. Looking to get shot?
Number 7. Cyber Psycho vs NCPD. Edgerunners is quite simply one of the best animes of this year, and all I needed to realize its greatness was that opening battle, where we watch in equal amounts of awe and horror as the Cyber Psycho goes on a rampage against the NCPD. There's so much to unpack about this fight, since in only a few minutes it gives us a ton of information. Amid the blood splatters and severed limbs, we figure out how dangerous a Cyber Psycho can be. But after he quite literally demolishes an entire squad of officers, we meet the Max Tag, who turns out to be the final boss that even Cyber Psychos can't beat. The animation here is bold, to say the least, and it's perfectly complemented by the music score that's been a highlight of this show. All in all, a perfect way to start an anime. Number 6. Denji vs the Bat Devil. No anime has ever had the kind of hype that Chainsaw Man generated before its premiere, and I have to say that so far the show hasn't disappointed me one bit. It gave us a taste of its artistic beauty in the very first episode, but the real feast began when Denji let loose his inner monster to fight the Bat Devil that had swallowed his partner. In a violent and beautifully choreographed sequence, Denji goes to town on this scary demon and displays his potential as a devil hunter. It's not really a contender for the fight of the year, but this battle made it clear that you can expect some great things from this show. Number 5. Chisato vs Majima. Chisato and Majima get into many fights during the first season of Lycoris Recoil, and slowly but surely they both realize that even though they're fighting on opposite sides, deep down they're both trying to find a meaning to their lives, and this realization is exactly what makes their final battle inside the new tower so damn awesome. Yes, we get to witness the breathtaking gunplay that Lycoris Recoil has kind of become renowned for, but what's really special about this fight is that both of them have nothing to lose, so they not only fight to the death, but even allow each other the courtesy to catch their breath. It's not your run-of-the-mill all-guns blazing showdown, but that's exactly why it leaves such a big impact on you. Number 4. Global Alliance vs the Jagerists. The second part of the 4th season was all about our favourite characters realising how their actions are leading to a global genocide. After listening to their inner voice, they join forces with people from other countries to stop Eren. Still, to catch up with Eren, they need the flying ship which is surrounded by the Jagerists, and this leads to a bloody and gruesome battle between the people who believe in Eren and the ones who love him. The ensuing showdown is an emotional ride where Mikasa and Armin have to take down their fellow soldiers to save the world. The animation, the stakes, and the sheer emotional weight of this battle make it one of the best in the entire series. Number 3. Luffy vs Kaido. Now let's make one thing clear, this isn't a fight, it's a battle for the ages that goes on for a long time. There are so many things going on in arguably the greatest battle in One Piece, and as for the hype, it's quite simply astounding. After all, our boy Luffy is up against a tag team of Kaido and Big Mom, and the fate of the entire world rests on its outcome. Every character gets a chance to shine here, and we also witness some really emotional moments along the way. But the moment that really gave me goosebumps is when Luffy landed that almighty punch on Kaido as the original started playing, and all of a sudden we were transported back all those years to the moment we started this beautiful adventure. Number 2. Demon Slayers vs Demon Siblings. I guess it's not a surprise that this fight is part of this list. After all, it's not only one of the best fights of 2022, but one of the best fights of all time. The animation you see as our Demon Slayers give it their all to beat Gyutaro and Darky is just god tier. But it's not just the animation that's special. The framing, the pace, and even the twists are perfect. For a battle that's taken place on multiple fronts, you get to witness every move and every strike, and to top it off, you get 6 episodes of this visual ecstasy, so you don't even have time to catch your breath, because each moment is important for the climax, which is a thing of beauty in itself. Now, before we reveal the number 1 fight of 2022, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and also subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss any of our content. Number 1. Yuta vs Ghetto. I went to watch Jujutsu Kaisen 0 thinking it'll just be like one of those other shonen films that don't have much impact on the main series, and to some extent I was right. Yet by the end of the film, I couldn't help but applaud MAPPA for what they've achieved here. This film has some of the best fight scenes in all of anime. Their animation is pretty much on par with Ufotable here. Couple that with their unique style, and you get a final battle between our protagonist Yuta and the evil sorcerer Ghetto, who's trying to eat Yuta's special special curse, Rika, to send the world into chaos. Their battle is full of surprises. It starts with two of them using cursed weapons to take down the other, but by the end, they're using cursed techniques that are changing the very landscape around them. Now, I'm not claiming that this is the greatest fight of all time, but it sure as hell is one of them. And that brings an end to today's video. Do you guys agree with my list? Share your thoughts and suggestions with me in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.